All right. And that's lagging in a weird way because, of course, it is. Let's try that again. There we go. Sometimes my audio glitches. It's wonderful. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. I'm going to be having these smooth jams of Ron Galinas join us today because we're diving back into Minecraft. It's good to have a little background music. But first, want to thank Adam Morency. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy those emotes. I'm going to turn these just down a little. There we go. That's a little better as background music. So let's dive back into Minecraft. So last time, it's been a couple months since we've done Minecraft on this channel. Last time we were building a church. I have not constructed further on that church, but I have done other improvement projects. Just general mining, getting more resources, trying to get a enchanting table built. Where did I put the enchantment? Thought I put it in here. Oh no, where did I put my enchantment table? Well, we'll find it later. It's not like that's a hard to make piece that costs a diamond every time. Just have so many nooks and crannies. So, there's our portal to the nether. Did I put it outside? Anyway, how's everyone's day going? Everyone having a good day? Ooh, my pumpkins grew. So we have a bit of a farm situation going on here at the front of the Door to Darkness. I would like to move the farm at some point, but that's a lower priority, I feel. Cold day, woke to snow. Well, it is still winter. Oh, I wrangled up some cows as well. Began a cow breeding program. So we're going to need more leather in order to make more books for the enchanting area. Seriously, where did I put that enchanting table? Did I put it somewhere? Yesterday was in the 60s? Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, I have placed it somewhere because it's not in a chest. Maybe further down the mines. I swear I recall hollowing out a section for it, but, you know. Apparently not. Well, I'll show you what this church structure looks like so far. We're going to need to do a lot more resource gathering before we go much farther on it, honestly. go. So out that way we have a automated sugarcane farm. I expanded on it as well, just to make sure everything had pushers. Soggy bread. Okay, there's the savannah. That's where we placed it. And there's the amethyst pylon. That's our marker. So currently we're looking at this as the foot of the nave, essentially, like the base of the nave. It might actually get a little bit longer, I think. I think the proportions are a little... Ew? What's ew? Oh, soggy bread. So about here, we'll have a confessio built out, and then each of these corners that we've built up, this will be like a standing bread sogged with soup. That sounds good. So our design is kind of in the style of St. Peter's. So this is the corner. There's going to be a big circle around the altar area, and then at each of the four corners, there'll be a pillar with a walkway behind it. Then here's the altar area itself, which we'll need to complete, but we do have the general sense of what we want for an altar. We might work on this a bit, just make it look a little different, but... And I'm definitely going to want to make this wider. This is way too short for me. This is just like... It's just like a little stubby. And so that's going to go for the rear and other side transept. I don't know, if you have a bread bowl that's been full of soup, you finish the soup and the inside's pretty soggy, but it's pretty good. Come to Let Us Play. Come to watch a priest play video games and talk theology. Stay for the soggy bread discussion. Discourse, that's the word I was looking for, but... So today I kind of just want to work on resource gathering some more. And figuring out where we put that enchanting table. Because I'm getting tired of using all iron stuff, but I want to use my diamond stuff until it's enchanted. I wonder if I put the enchanting table by the... automated farm, thinking, well, that's where we'll get the paper from. The answer is no. Is there a theology of soggy bread? I'm sure some moral theologian could make a statement on that. Hey, Jimothy Pepper. Yeah, you just missed it. We were actually just looking at the foundation of the church that we're working on. The soggy bread discourse comes after the amuse-bouche discourse. Fair enough. So we're going to definitely need a lot more cobbled deep slate, granite. I might want to get this organized at some point into a more workable design. A little more organized. There we go. But seriously, I would like to find that table. How do you misplace an entire table that's right there? Anyway, we found it. So you use it in Lapis Lazuli and you can get enchantments, but if you have more books around it, you can get better enchantments. I need more food if I'm going to go into the mines. As much as the children yearn for them. A gold shilling to whoever sees the table first. Oh, I saw it first. I'll keep my shilling. Do I not have any other food source? I have a carrot. Why have I not planted these melon seeds? Let's go fix that, shall we? Hello, Orange Cat. Yes, you were an incredible pain to get into the base safely. Here, have a pumpkin. It matches you. All right, let's go into the mines. Let's get some resources. What kind of walls should we have in this church? That's actually something I haven't figured out. On second thought, let's not mine there. It is a silly place. Soap? I don't think soap exists in Minecraft. At least not vanilla. I'd actually like some coal as well. We are running just like low on torches. I feel like I haven't been able to get very ahead on resources in this world. Paper? Paper doesn't form a block, unfortunately. Carefully sculpted trees. We could do a wooden wall. Well, we're very good at finding underwater caverns. Something very startling about the phrase, Minecraft is a retro game. I mean, it's not like super retro, but I say it is for the sake of an excuse to play it on stream, basically. I mean, it is 15 years old. I actually do need a lot of this andesite. Where's this diorite? I can know it. Diorite. I always get andesite and diorite mixed up. I mean, one of the things that weirded me out when I was doing campus ministry was students talking about the Wii in the same way I talked about the Super Nintendo when I was in college. Yeah, those are the college students I was talking about, were the ones at OSU. Guitar Hero 3 being retro makes you feel worse somehow. Ugh. Yeah? I mean, DDR existed on the PS1. So it's older than the Wii. And yes, technically, so is Guitar Hero, having started on PlayStation 2, but... Okay, this should be enough for this for now. Do I have a second bed at the church? I think I do. No, there's one way to find out for sure. Okay, want some diorite. I'll put the cobblestone and gravel away. I'll take the granite. Put the dirt away. Put these in the furnaces. The only non-retro Kingdom Hearts game are the phone one, Kingdom Hearts 3 and 2.8. Water's attempt to float through the oil. First of all, how dare you? Second of all, you're absolutely right. Third of all... So I'm rethinking using the wood for the walls for the most part, except kind of like reshaping it. But I'm kind of thinking, what if we did... I don't know terracotta yet. I need to go get some clay. Oh, come on. It's basically night. Let me go to bed early. There we go. Okay, let's see if there's anything else we want to take out there. Let's take the cobbled deep slate we have. But yeah, I'm thinking, what if we use either terracotta or concrete for the walls, but use some highlighting of wood to frame, like, the windows? Like, I'm specifically thinking maybe some of the birch, and maybe kind of like I'm kind of thinking like maybe a yellowish beige color, if that's possible. I don't remember all the shades. But something kind of like the Basilica in DC. Like that sandstone look. I mean, I could just do sandstone. Yes, I do have a spare bed out here. That's good. I thought I had like that, but, you know. Let's actually take all of that. Okay, so now we should be able to make concrete. And when you make concrete, it makes it powder. And then you have to stick it in water and it loses its texture, but gains gravity because Minecraft. Let's make a stack of stairs for the altar area. So I definitely like the idea of not that. I like the idea of the corners not having steps, but steps kind of only coming out directly from the middle. But then here at the bottom, I'm wondering, for the Confessio, what if we... thank you, Upside Down Stairs functionality. You're very helpful. I do like it kind of going out just by one towards the bottom. I think that helps a little bit. I might do something with the color, but that's not the problem. Is 4 wide going to be enough for the I feel that's not really going to be wide enough for the Confessio. So the Confessio, for those who don't know, if you've ever been to a church in Rome, there's a basically space in front of the altar that goes underneath it. And it's usually where some principal relics are kept. Or it's a tomb, most often. I just had a thought, though. What if the railing for the Confessio started here, but then kind of bulged outward in kind of a teardrop shape? That could work. Too far. So I like how the side steps function. So we'll have that along each side and then the back. We're gonna need more stairs. Ooh, calcite. Calcite could actually be really fun here because that could help us break up some of the monotony of the color. Like, I can leave most of this structure as polished andesite, whatever, but... But it is good to break up your palette in Minecraft, just because this is a little bit difficult to look at and to differentiate where the stairs are, but this shade of gray is just different enough, as is the texture. So at a distance, yeah, that looks a lot better. I like that a lot more. Just gonna replace this for now. Yeah, compare the left to the right, and I think I like the right a lot more. Looks more like marble, maybe a little more carved. We do have bone block as well. Gonna put that all away for now. Just gonna place out some more stairs. Then I think I want to shape out the Confessio today. I know I'm just kind of jumping around from thing to thing, but it's my stream. Setting sun, panic. But then, yeah, I'm thinking the Baldacchino, we already have the 4 pillars for where it's going to be placed. But I like the idea of... They're not going to be Solomonic, because you can't really get that kind of spiraling detail in Minecraft. But I'm thinking maybe alternating between the cobbled deep slate and like a fence piece. So sort of a thick, narrow pattern. Okay, that is the altar steps completed. I might recenter this altar. I know I designed it to be off-center, but on the sides, but I don't know. I'm kind of not Yeah, it does give you the 3 and 3. I don't know. I'm on the fence. Speaking of fences, let's make some. I did not pack an axe. Why did I not pack an axe? Well, time to punch a tree the old-fashioned way. I am thinking of using these acacias because I think that'd be a nice way of incorporating the local foliage into the construction. And I think the red hue that it provides would stand out against the grays and browns that we have. Because I'm thinking the sandstone wall. So yeah, if we start out with the fencing. I'm gonna need more. So how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that should work pretty well, because then that's 4. And then we can actually start looping our way back. I'll leave that there for now. Let's start with any acacia tree that's in the build zone. Build up all that, and build up all of that fencing. So that's the general shape. Okay, I do think the teardrop design works. I might leave this permanently closed instead of putting in a gate, but So I'm wondering, what if we did something like... This is all going to be open pit in the end. So I'm wondering, what if we did like steps here and then they diverge and they go off to the side? Well, it hurts to look at for a while. Kind of like two separate staircases on kind of taking the two sides and coming back. Oh no, my shovel broke. Did I pack a spare shovel? Probably not. I did not. I did. I'm a genius. And humble, don't forget humble. I am the most humble. So I kind of like this idea, because then like what it is essentially, you're going to come down steps on either side. There'll be an open space in the middle, and then the stairs come back and lead into the hallway into the Confessio. Humble bar none. It's hard to believe that Lent hits its 2-week mark tomorrow. Not quite sure how to navigate that corner, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I might widen this a little bit so I can make like a little archway on the way in, but We'll see. Well, for now, this is looking fine. And then I guess go down one more step. All right, so that's kind of the Confessio space blocked out. Oh, hey, it's Free Fallen again. Oh, is this the one that was Free Fallen? Yeah, I can hear it in that chord progression a little. Why did I mark the corner here to figure out a circle? It's easier to figure out from a flat edge. That'll probably be our next thing to tackle, is just shaping out the circle of the dome area. But for now, I want to head back towards home base to get more food, because we are very hungry. So hungry I can't run. Wish you could eat squid in Minecraft. Make a little calamari. All right. Now that we're back, I actually need to take a quick bio break. So we're gonna just take a little break. I'll be back 3 to 5 minutes. Get up, stretch your legs, get a drink of water. I'll be back before you know it. And we're back. Thank you for your patience. All right, food. Let's get some wheat. No melons have grown, unfortunately. That would have been nice. I miss old Minecraft wheat. Ooh, a trader. What do you have for sale? Vines, cornflower, purple dye, pumpkin, red dye, packed ice. That's deeply unexciting. Trying to think. If we want to, I guess I could use cobblestone to block out the circle. So I should take some cobblestone. Trying to think if I know of a desert nearby, because if I'm gonna do sandstone, I'm gonna need... Nope, get back here. I'm hungry. Need you. I'm tired of my carb-only diet. I need proteins. One does not live on bread alone. You need a well-balanced diet. This is a huge flock of salmon. It's actually a really nice amount of salmon to have and to cook up because the bread is only does so much. It's more renewable, admittedly, but bone meal. I literally did not know you could get bone meal out of a salmon in Minecraft. Okay, that should be enough. Let's head back to the church. After we get some sand. Because I want to look at the sandstone options. Giant conspicuous pit. Right, sandstone. You know, I don't love the sandstone. It's a bit too textured. And I know there's a polished one, but the polished one has like a creeper face on it. So I think we're back to the concrete plan. Okay, how many... What's the radius here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's way off center. Wait, what? Oh no. Oh, I placed this at the wrong spot. That's okay. It gives us a sense. A radius of about 20. That's probably about what we want anyway. So if we start center of everything, it's these 4 blocks right here, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So, starting from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, see, if this is the edge of the dome and the circular column surrounding the altar space, the transepts are absolutely going to have to be wider. This is way too small. That's okay. So I need to look up a circle graph. I always forget the exact numbers for these. All right, I have one open. You can't see it because it's... I'm too lazy to pull it up as a source on this on OBS. Okay, let's look at 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it starts at 8. So, nope, wrong spot. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So that's going to be one edge of it. What's with this sky color? Is this just what it does in the savannah sometimes? It looks like there's a storm coming, but it's not here. Hey, Peter Simon. Good to see ya. Thank you for the follow. I have no idea how to pronounce your name, by the way. I apologize. No problems. Your first name is Peter Simon. Ah, okay. Okay, I have met some people named Peter Simon before. In real life. Filipino culture is to have 2 first names. Yep, I have heard that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. 1. 1, 2. 1. So, Peter Simon, I saw you have OP in your username as well. Are you a Dominican? I have almost no sword left, zombie, but I will defeat you, except I'll let the sun do it because you're flammable. No, don't light me on fire! Rude. Okay, so where were we? We just did 1, 2, 1. So this should be the 4. I'm going to fall. Called it. Okay, while that's decaying, I'm actually going to go and get some more cobblestone. And the salmon should be done. Nope. Just barely ran out on... cooking that last bit of salmon, but that's okay. Okay, so... So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2. 1. I usually get the rhythm of like how a circle is drawn in Minecraft right as I'm finishing the last quarter circle. Okay, this is kind of funny. And it's ultimately fine. But the Confessio extends beyond the Rotunda. But that'll actually kind of just slightly tie it together into the nave. And obviously there's not going to be wall down here. It's going to start... There's going to be wall more in the corners. It's going to start higher up. It's going to be a whole thing. We are going to have to move that structure in. But that's okay, because then we can build it... approximately is that okay? Yeah, that actually lines up nicely. So because where the 2 and 2 meet serves as a corner, so that'll be good. Nice. 1, 2. Three. Nope, I've missed something here. Oh, I see what I missed. I forgot to put that one dot in. No, that's still off center. Because this should be where it all meets up. So 1, 2. Okay, let's start back from the start. We have our row of 8. And we do 4. Then 1, and then 2, and then 1, 2, 90-degree turn, 2, 1, 2, 1, 4, I thought I built this as a square. Yeah, I did. Geometry is hard. Never really did like geometry. Oh, and I completely screwed up over on this side too. Like, that's not right. So that should be like that. Okay, so I got it right on this side. So, what did I get wrong on the other? Three, 4, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's one short on this side. What is going on? Oh, okay. I see what's going on finally. They are not the same size. It is, in fact, slightly wider on the front. That's okay. Now that I know that, what that's going to mean is the dome's going to be slightly lopsided. Unless I tie it, I guess actually what I want to do is I do want to center it here and tie it around. Because building a lopsided dome just sounds more difficult. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fortunately, it's not a huge ask because I only have to slide everything over by 1. But I am going to have to do it on both sides. This is where it's really awkward because it's just like pulling the whole structure down by 1. So I'm just gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yeah, so this 1 and 2. Wait. Okay, yeah, that's this center line lines up with the center line because it's right there in between those two sets. And then center line here. Yep, okay. We've got that sorted out. We figured out the mystery of the lopsided circle. Good job, gang. Scooby snacks all around. One, two, three, 4. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Okay. Why does this now seem wrong on this side? Okay, it's lining up with that. Welcome to Counting with Father Evan. Okay, that lines up. Wait, what? How is it that those there line up with this, but the actual space doesn't? I'm beginning to lose my mind. Kit has redeemed a father joke. Well, I feel bad using this one because you've basically already done it in the chat, but we need to talk about potassium, okay? I tell chemistry jokes periodically. I did. I'm still stumped on this circle problem. How can I have the front and the side lined up, but then the back gets completely thrown off? This and that should mirror each other. That mirror's there right up until that. Okay, so if I run across here, this should be the 1. It's not. Wait, what? That's where I'm screwed up. Oh my goodness, it was so subtle. I also don't know how you two got so messed up, but I'm not going to care because you're not going to stay there anyway. I had somehow skipped this as a single 1. Which is kind of important. Okay, so 1. And then this should be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so center is here. Okay, we got it. We got there. We made it work. Yay! Circles in Minecraft will be the death of me. There should be a 1 in between every. Rotata. So it should be 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. There's a very small phrase in today's gospel that really stood out to me. Jesus says, you know, listen to the Pharisees. It's not something that we really tend to associate him with. We tend to associate him more with having a more antagonistic relationship with the Pharisees, and rightly so. But he says it's because they sit on the seat of Moses. I think that's a very important thing. He's reminding the people around him, you know, these people are speaking based on Jewish tradition, and when they speak truly from the tradition, they are still speaking as Moses does. And so in that case, it's still good to listen to them. And I think about that in the life of the church today. You know what? Yeah, leaders and priests like myself, like, we're called to accountability and good leadership and upholding all that, but also the fact that we as a people of God can trust that God is with the church for all ages, will continue to be with us and still have good things to speak for us and to hear. So. One, two, 1 dot. So this should be the 1, and then this should be the 4. Oh, thank goodness that lined up. First try. Okay, now we just have to connect that to that. 4. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Let's go pick up these scraps. So then 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, and then 4. Hey, we got it to line up the first time. Ignore everything else that happened. So now we go up into spectator mode. That is the circle over the area. So what that's going to be, again, is it's going to be a wall. Or it's not going to be a wall. There's going to be transepts coming out the top, left and right, and then the nave coming out the bottom. But then where those will connect to this circular area, which itself will go up, and there will be a dome over it. And then in the corners where the 2x1s meet, where they kind of go like that in the corners, that'll be a little passageway. And in between that and the altar area that we have right now, we'll have a little corner piece pillar that'll connect up. Not sure how that's going to connect to the dome in the end, but we'll get there when we get there. I guess it could just go straight into the dome itself. Also, I just noticed this pit. It's less exciting. It's just full of water. So, but yeah, this is a pretty good start, I think. Helps lay out. And we are going to definitely have to increase the size of these transepts, because right now this is where it originally would have ended in little squat arm. I think in my mind I had envisioned the dome being smaller, and then what we'll do is with these black pillars, we'll build them up, and there we'll put a top on, and it will have its own little dome, and that'll form a baldacchino. I was kind of thinking baldacchino, kind of like what they have at St. Louis. It's really pretty. What it is like, at the top of the baldacchino there's a ring around it, but then the dome is actually a squared dome, and so the ring extends beyond it, and on that there's statues. It just looks really interesting, dynamic. So maybe something like that, maybe not. We'll see. I think that's a good amount of construction for today, though. I don't know the recipe for terracotta off the top of my head. Nor in my book. You ran circles around that construction. Yes, I did. I want to go exploring a little bit to see if we can find a desert. Or a Badlands. A Badlands would be great because then we could get sand and terracotta. Wow, there are so many bees in this area. There's another hive. We'll build an apiary at some point. Can I explore in observer mode? I could, but I don't know. I kind of like just trying to limit myself to survival mode for all of it. If we get really lost, though, I will jump back into Observer or Creative just to be able to fly and get back home safely. I could also theoretically pull up the map I used to make this world. Because when I started this world... Oh, that was a while ago. It's like a year and a half at this point. No, it's more recent than that. Never mind. I've been doing Minecraft on stream longer than that, but... when I started this world, I used a world generator, which helps show you what biomes are near spawn and what resources. Because I wanted to find one with like a village and a decent start. You know, you don't want to start in the glaciers or an inferno or something. Turns out starting your life in an active volcano is a bad idea. Most islands start that way. Okay, starting your human life or your Minecraft life inside an active volcano is a bad idea. Oh wow, that's a lot of roses. Hello, pig. I'm gonna get some of these red roses while we're here. We're painting the roses red. Cows! You have leather. My sword broke. This is awkward. Stop beating up the cows. Okay. I'm done beating up the cows. There are no more cows to beat up, but I am done. Besides, they gave me some good leather. That'll make a whole bookshelf right there. I need leather. There's not really another way to get it. It's not like wool. You can't shear leather off of a cow. My sword broke. I attacked him with a sword and it went clunk. If I could attack one with a sword, I would have, but I don't have a sword. I'm also worried about the fact that it is now sundown, and I am not near a base. I'm sure this will be fine. It's only zombies spawning in right now. I can outrun them. They're slow. Very fertile world. Yes. And I fell in a hole. This hole was significantly deeper or wider than I thought it was when I jumped into it. Oh, no. You jerk. That's it. I'm going spectator mode to get home. Okay, that's the village that's very close to spawn. While we're up here, there's a decent amount of sand. It's not a huge amount, but it's something. So I'll keep that in mind. Can you make a hut and give it a light or a cave? No, I am out of torches. Because I have not found a ton of coal. Copper in there. Let's make some paper. Oh, wait. Still need my... So now I can make 3 whole books. No sword, no torches. Not very Boy Scout. I was busy building a church. And plus everything else broke. Stone sword. I'd rather have an iron sword. But I don't have any coal left except what's in my furnaces, and I don't want to remove it from my furnaces, really. Oh, I can remove this giant circle graph. Have it blocking half of OBS. One. We should be able to make more cows now. Hello, who would like to make more cows? Yes? No? Yes? There we go. As long as you get 2 with hearts. Now that salmon went fast, but admittedly, I almost ran out of all my health. So, it's helping that. How many stone swords do I have? I guess that's the only one. It takes 2 to tingle? That might violate TOS. I think the word you're looking for is tango. Tango. And Tango was his name-o? That was not a lot of coal, to be honest. They certainly aren't dancing. They're dancing cows. I can make them dance. Where do you find coal deposits? In the ground. That's what the black spots I was just digging at were. But the problem is I haven't really found a ton. So there, now I have 16 torches, which is better than nothing, but it's still not a lot. I guess I need to do more strip mining. It's just a lot of the things I have memorized for the depth. Was the way it was for a long time, and then they did the caves and cavern or cliffs and caves update, and that changed a lot. And it just is really, like, as I've been mining, it's just really thrown me off of what I'm used to. Where to find diamonds and coal. So I need to do some research and relearn what it's like. Oh, that's a big cave. Oh, that leads to outside. Ooh, coal. There's also iron, but I have a decent amount of iron. And copper, but copper's only really decorative, so I don't really feel the need to get it right away, because I don't have any use in mind for it, and I would need beeswax to keep it from getting verdigris. Journey to the center of the earth. I mean, I could go to bedrock. There is a certain point. Still, 11 coal. It's not like amazing, but it's better. Yeah, you can hit bedrock. There is actually a finite bottom to the world, and you cannot mine beyond that. I'm going to save this last 2 coal. I'm not going to put it in a furnace. Where bedrock is much deeper than it used to be, though. I'll say that. Because it used to be where like the caves in the cobbled deep slate start. That used to be bedrock. How does the bedrock manifest? Just normally. So if we come down here, you can actually see that's the network of my current mine. It goes down out, but you can see all these caves. So about here, this level is where bedrock used to be. But now bedrock is way, 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 way deeper. And you can see some there. You see that that kind of striped block in the middle. That's bedrock, and it just manifests normally. But nothing. There are ways to glitch it out of existence, but there's no normal way to remove it. Even the most powerful pickaxe can't do anything against it. Hello? Have I found this cave? What? There's lanterns all over the place here. Does this connect up to the surface? Who found this? Who lit this area up? Was it me? I don't remember this. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. But I don't see a way it connects. Oh, yeah, I do remember this one, because you had to ride the water to go down into it deeper. Because, yeah, we started here. And you even have to... Yeah, that actually starts very close to the home base. So, I think that is a good place to call it for today. Looks like the upside down. Yeah, a little bit. But got a meeting to get ready for, unfortunately, so gotta dip a little early today. So, thank you so much. Oh, I'm gonna kill the music. Thank you so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. No Thursday stream this week. I'll be in DC for conference. But then next week, more Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories. Hopefully we're going to actually finish that for real this time. Tuesday, more Minecraft. And then Thursday, for Spirituality Thursday, we're going to be looking at a game called Synaxarion Acts 1. I'm very excited about that game. It looks really interesting. Not necessarily a great game, but like I think the concept's really fascinating. And I hope get some good discussion. One note is that Monday stream, due to life and ministry things happening, I actually have to start an hour later than usual. But we'll still have Monday just an hour later, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So hope to see everyone there. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Feels weird saying that on a Tuesday. But take care. God bless. And let's see if we can raid someone. Sure, I can send you on over to Junie. As soon as it's ready. I'll be honest, I do not fully understand raids, but I hope y'all have a good time. Junie's good people. She's celebrating her birthday, or Moth Day, I guess. So yeah, take care and God bless.
The mounts,